We've all heard the phrase, put the coil to the soil. It's what we do as metal detectorists. We hunt parks and farm fields looking for items buried underneath the topsoil. But for two men in northern Minnesota, it's the water that hides the treasure. Jim Kachiver and Alan Carpenter are the Minnesota Beach Boys. They hunt Minnesota's 10,000 lakes looking for treasure that rivals that of the Gold Coast. I caught up with the Minnesota Beach Boys recently on a ring recovery to find out what makes them such a dynamic duo. For close to a decade, Jim Kachiver and Alan Carpenter have teamed up to reunite individuals with their prized possessions.
You ready? Ready for a ring recovery.
Well, what happened today when, this was a difficult one because it was over 6 feet deep.
You're taller, bud. Woo! Let that settle in for a minute.
But talking to them, they had tried to scoop it up with a 5-gallon bucket on a rake. He knew exactly where he dropped it off the dock, but being that they moved some of the bottom and the soil around and stuff, that give us a clue to expand our search area.
You think it's that far?
I know it.
7582.
Check that scoop though. That was a pretty tight.
Never mind, bud. Good job, bud.
You feel really good when you can give something back and make somebody happy, and you don't want anything for it. You just want them. We just want them to do good deeds for other people the same way.
Smile on their face.
It's truly a blessing when you have something like that. It really is.
Karma always comes back to you.
Yeah.
Individuals always try to pay the Beach Boys, but they never take payments or rewards. They only ask for donations to be made to a children's hospital.
So we'd like you to donate whatever you think is right to the Shriners Children's Hospital. Does that sound good?
Yep. Good. Happy for you, bud.
How's that? That good?
And that's exactly what Leslie did. Jim received this letter in the mail from the Shriners Hospital. Rings aren't the only items they returned. Check out this news story from WDIO Duluth.
A Duluth family has incredibly been reunited with a World War I artifact that had been out of their family for more than 80 years. Ryan Junty is here to explain how it all came together.
Darren, last spring, a man with a metal detector found a World War I dog tag, and for a year he looked for a family member to give it back to. And then, believe it or not, on Memorial Day this year, he finally found one.
But I kept getting a good I thought it was silver, a silver tone.
Alan Carpenter often looks for buried artifacts in Hibbing's Cobb-Cook Park. It's something he does for fun, but he and his partner Jim Kachiver also return lost items. Last spring, Alan made his most important discovery. Under this pine tree, buried under at least 6 inches of frost, he found a World War I dog tag.
Well, at first I didn't know what it was. I thought it was some kind of token or something until I got home and rinsed it off, and then I seen the United States Marine Corps on it.
With Jim's help, he figured out the dog tag belonged to Anton Bernhardt, a World War I veteran and former Hibbing police officer. Then it was time to try and track down a family member who they could return it to. After a year of looking, they found Joseph Martin, Anton's great-nephew.
To find something like this after being lost for 80 years, that's just unbelievable.
And on Monday afternoon at Maple Hill Cemetery, where Anton is buried,
it gives me great honor to present you the flag of our country, which your great uncle so greatly served.
Joseph was given an American flag with the dog tag on top.
It means a lot to be able to return it to a family member that deserves it, you know. Anything found, you know, that's we find, if that ring has a name in it or something, we always return it to the owner.
Wow.
Makes you feel good.
It's exceptional. This is probably one of the highlights of our metal detecting career.
To this day, Joseph doesn't know why the dog tag was where it was, but it's something he and his family will always hold close to their hearts.
This is really an amazing story and something that we'll all remember and something that we can really cherish, the flag and his dog tag.
Wow.
Now, Darren, Allen says this year he has found and returned 2 engagement rings. He says he and Jim, they'll look for anything that people lose for free. We'll have more info about that on our website.
Sounds great, Ryan. Great story. Thank you, sir.
When they're not making people's days, you'll find the guys hunting lakes all over Minnesota. The targets they find are amazing, to say the least. Hundreds of rings and some memorable relics.
My favorite thing is, I've probably got 2 of them. It's my copper spear points and my 1821 militia sword scabbard.
For me, I found a World War II dog tag, and I did the research. The veteran had passed away, but I knew what his hometown was, so I looked in there and found a guy with the same last name and called him, and it was his cousin. And I made arrangements. I'm a veteran. The cousin was a veteran, and I made arrangements. I met him, and I returned the dog tag to him, and he thought that the guy's sister was still alive. He was going to try and get it to the sister. And what happened was the guy's daughter was actually alive, and he returned it to the daughter. And about 3 weeks later, I got a letter in the mail from the daughter just thanking me how happy she was to get that, and that somebody would do such a nice thing. And she said she was going to put it in his burial flag display. So that was pretty touching, being a veteran myself. So Al Carpenter's at it again. Mr. Lucky, 87. Let's see how lucky he is this time. He beats me at everything. Yeah. Except gold. No, come on.
Another ring.
Look at that.
Oh, it's a spinner.
A spinner.
All right, guys. Till the next one. All right.
Just like with land detecting, lots of research and planning goes into each water hunt. Sometimes it's the things you don't think of that have to be figured out.
Well, when we pull up, usually the ride to the lake is we start talking about how we're gonna size something up or how we should do it,
And find a place where we can strip down naked to get in our
wetsuits
without getting spotted.
What's been kind of good is, like, now we take Al's boat out a lot and go to remote beaches and stuff and islands, and we can out in the middle of the lake where nobody can see you. You can get suited up pretty easy. And we kind of have a plan how we're gonna go about doing it, whether we're gonna go along the shoreline or go out deep or kind of. And then once we get there and we're ready and we're in and we're detecting, it kind of depends where we start finding stuff. We try to follow areas of traffic where people either are entering or leaving the lake, focal points.
The Minnesota Beach Boy says he's got a good hit over here. Let's dig it. Nice soft sand. Dig it. That's what we like.
Big scoop first. Let's see. I think I got it.
You got her?
A couple rocks.
Point. Ooh, I see it. I see it. All right, Jimmy.
Looks like it's probably silver with an opal.
Turn it sideways so I can see that. There you go. Look at that.
All right.
Awesome. All right, Jim.
Once they find those high traffic areas, people are surprised to learn that they use XP products. Most people don't think of the Deus or the ORX as water machines, and this works to their advantage.
I think that Deus and ORX are great water machines. You just got to make sure you're waterproofing them correctly, and make sure. I check mine periodically all the while I'm using it to make sure the bag's not leaking or anything, but I've never had a problem with it that way.
Well, never gotten a drop of water in them.
No?
And we've did a lot of other beaches with other metal detectors through the years, and we went back to them, and I mean, it's like a brand new beach now, digging deeper stuff, picking smaller jewelry up with the XPs.
Yeah.
It's a great machine.
Actually, this summer, using both the Deus and the ORX, I can't tell you how many times, but many times Al and I have said to each other, I don't know how we missed that in the past. Because it just seems like these targets are showing up now, and we know we've been there many times.
Like that big $50, I mean, that I found out there. We were over that how many times, and then all of a sudden we took the XP over it.
Bang.
And you know somebody didn't lose that soon. That was lost many years ago, you know.
I asked the Beach Boys why they enjoy what they do.
So metal detecting for us it's fun. It's a great joy, but we're also able, and many times we've been able to bring happiness and joy back to other people, like today with the ring and the wallet before and the other class ring. I went to a hunt 3 weeks ago in Minneapolis area, and the guy was, when you check in, there was a guy checking you in, and there was a guy selling raffle tickets, and I bought a raffle ticket and two. And I moved on, and when I came back by, the guy looked at me and he says, "You look familiar when you were here. Now I know where I seen you. You're the guy that does the videos." You're one of those guys. It was kind of like the My Pillow guy thing. I mean, I've been metal detecting 26 years, and I just love it. I do it every chance I get. And then to be able to be on a team and be involved as much as we're involved with XP and going to different hunts and
meeting a lot of great people,
putting videos out there. I never thought I'd be doing that, but you know, it just, metal detecting led us into doing this,
and we have fun doing it.
And we have fun doing it, big time.
Thanks to the Minnesota Beach Boys.
All right.